Okay. So anterior spinothalamic tract we have already discussed. Anterior spinothalamic. So I told from the names you can understand what type of a pathway it is. That means like whether it is a sensory pathway or a motor pathway. So motor pathway always from higher center to your muscles, like from the cerebral cortex towards any skeletal muscles. Okay. And ascending pathway or a sensory pathway is from your different body parts or receptors towards the higher center, towards the integration center, or like cerebellum or cerebral cortex, etc. Okay, so here we are discussing today, or we have been discussing about the ascending pathways or sensory pathways. Okay, so here last class we have discussed about posterior spinothalamic tracts. In that, we have discussed about gracilis fasciculus and cuneatus fasciculus, and also anterior spinothalamic. Okay, anterior, which falls or which runs through the anterior white column of the spinal cord. Okay. And here, so this we have done. So now we will discuss about the lateral spinothalamic tract, or it is the pain pathway from the body. Pain and also temperature is also carried. Sensations of temperature is also carried by the same pathway. So usually when the question is asked not lateral spinal, they ask the pain pathway. Okay, so pain pathway and also temperature pathway of the body is lateral spinothalamic pathway. Okay. Okay. So here you see here, you can see here, this is the first order neuron, dendrite of the first order neuron. Here the receptors for pain. Okay. So we'll see lateral first. We have already seen the anterior. So the pain and temperature receptors. So the neurons, the first order neurons which innervate the receptors for pain and temperature, which arises, and here you can see the posterior root ganglia. See, these are the dendrites and these are the cell bodies, posterior root ganglia. So the axon of that first order neuron enters into the posterior gray horn. Here for the lateral spinothalamic root, or the fibers of the fibers which carry the sensations of pain and temperature, they make synapse with the second order neuron, and here the nucleus is called marginal nucleus, or what you call substantia gelatinous of Rolando. Okay, marginal or substantia gelatinous of Rolando. So these nuclei, they make the second order neuron makes synapse in this nuclei, and that second order neuron, see this one, second order neuron crosses to the opposite side. The axon of the second order neuron crosses to the opposite side. Okay, through the gray commissure. You can see here through the gray commissure. This was through the anterior white commissure. The anterior one. The lateral one, they cross through the gray commissure and reaches the lateral white column of the spinal cord. And then the axon ascends up through another spinal cord. The other side, here we have seen the cervical one. So another, if it is from the lumbar region, then thoracic and cervical, etc. The next level of spinal cord section, and through the brain stem like medulla, mid pons, and midbrain, and reaches the thalamus. Okay, in the thalamus, I have already told for all the somatic sensations from the body, the nucleus in the thalamus, relays nucleus in the thalamus is ventral posterior lateral nucleus, VPL, ventral posterior lateral nucleus. Okay. So from here, the third order neuron makes synapse, and the axon of the third order neuron extends up to the primary somatosensory area of the cerebral cortex. So this is about your lateral spinothalamic tract. Okay. Yeah, see, lateral spinothalamic tract. Lateral, so the function of the lateral spinothalamic tract is to carry the impulses for the sensations of pain and temperature. So if the question is asked for pain pathway from the body, it is lateral spinothalamic tract. If the question is asked temperature pathway from the body, see, it is clearly mentioned from the body. Okay. And the origin of this pathway. So the function is to carry pain and temperature. And the origin of this pathway is in the nucleus of what do you call marginal nucleus or substantia gelatinosa of Rolando. These two nuclei, and it is situated in the posterior gray horn. Okay, posterior gray horn. The axon of those second order neuron, and it is formed by the uncrossed fibers of second order neurons. Okay, crossing happens here itself in the spinal cord level. So they cross, axon crosses to the opposite side and reaches the lateral white column of the spinal cord and ascends through other segments of the spinal cord and brainstem and reaches the ventro-posterolateral nucleus of the thalamus. And this is the termination point. Okay, termination of the tract is in the VPL, ventral posterior lateral nucleus of the thalamus. And then third order neuron extends up to the primary somatosensory area in the cerebral cortex. So this is about lateral spinothalamic tract. Okay. And now we will see another one, trigeminothalamic pathway. This is not okay. A spinothalamic. It is trigeminothalamic pathway, and this pathway is specifically for the face. Okay, all the information from the face. It conveys the function of trigeminothalamic pathway is to carry the impulses for tactile, all the somatic sensations. Okay, all the somatic temperature, pain, proprioception from the face, nasal cavity, oral cavity, and teeth. Okay, face, nasal cavity, oral cavity, and teeth. So from face, all the somatic sensation from the face is carried by trigeminothalamic pathway. So suppose a question is asked to write or explain about pathway from the pain pathway from face, you have to explain trigeminothalamic pathway. Okay, pain pathway from face. So here it carries all the somatic, not only pain, all you can see here. Okay, all the somatic sensations from the face. Okay. So here the first order neurons, it extends from different neurons which supplies to different parts on the nasal cavity, on the face, oral cavity, teeth, or anywhere. Okay, arises. So the receptors for touch, pressure, vibration, pain, cold, warmth, itch, tickle in the face, nasal cavity, oral cavity, and teeth, anywhere. Okay. So this is the dendrites of the first order neuron. So this is trigeminal ganglia. Okay, trigeminal ganglia. So here the cell bodies are there, and then axons, they extend. Some of them, they end up in pons and ascend and cross to opposite side and ascends up. And some of them, they just move downwards to the medulla. Okay, if it enters into the pons, they move downwards to the medulla, and then they make synapse with the second order neuron and crosses to the opposite side, and then ascends up towards the pons midbrain and then reaches the thalamus. So here there is a difference. So we've been talking about ventral posterior lateral, VPL. So here the somatic sensations from the head or from the face for the trigeminal pathway, the relay station is VPM, ventral posterior medial nucleus. Okay, ventral posterior medial nucleus in the thalamus. And then the third order neuron extends from this thalamic nuclei, and extends up to the primary somatosensory area of the cerebral cortex. Okay, so that is it. So the first order neuron is in the trigeminal nerve. Okay, trigeminal nerve. And so this is considered as the origin, like trigeminal ganglia. And from there, the axons, some of them, they end up in the same segment where they are where they reach, and others, they go down to the next level. Suppose if it is pons, they go down to medulla, and then anywhere, wherever it ends, they make synapse with the second order neuron and then crosses to the opposite side and then ascends towards the thalamus. Okay, in the thalamus, the relay nucleus is ventral posterior medial. Okay, VPM, ventral posterior medial nucleus, and then extends up to the primary somatosensory area of the cerebral cortex. The third order synapse, they make the synapse in the thalamus with the third order neuron, and then axon of the third order neuron extends up to the primary somatosensory area. Okay, suppose if you forget about this name of the nuclei, just write the thalamic nuclei. Okay, Try to remember. If you don't remember, write thalamus at least. Okay, thalamic nuclei. So this is about trigeminothalamic pathway. Okay, so the function is to carry all the somatic sensations from the face, nasal cavity, oral cavity, and teeth. And now we'll see a little about physiology of pain. So usually there are two kinds or two types of pain we feel, like fast pain and a slow pain. Fast pain is like well localized. You can precisely say where the pain happens or the way you feel the pain, like a pinprick, cutting, burning, etc. But slow pain, you cannot localize exactly. It is radiating type of a pain. Okay, like it is associated with a tissue destruction which can radiate to the neighboring cells or neighboring tissue sections also. And yeah, it is the fast pain does not radiate, but slow pain radiates, or it is also referred to another structure like your angina pectoris can be referred to the left upper arms. Okay, so and here the neurotransmitter for the fast pain, it is glutamate, and for a slow pain the neurotransmitter is substance P. So two neurotransmitters. So sometimes it can happen together. So the neurotransmitters released for pain conduction, it is glutamate and substance P. And for a fast pain example is pain from an incision or a cut, etc. For a slow pain, the example is labor pain. And you can see the fibers. The fast pain is carried by A delta fibers which have larger, the diameter is larger diameter, having larger diameters, and slow pain is carried by C type of fibers. This classification of neurons according to their fibers we have already learned. So this fast pain is conducted by A delta fibers, and slow pain carried by C type of fibers. Okay, and see, and now when you learn, you have already learned about two pathways for pain sensation. Okay, so here pathway from the skin and deeper tissues from the body is carried by lateral spinothalamic tract, and pathway from the face is carried by trigeminothalamic tract, and pathway from the viscera, that is internal organs, from the internal organs the impulses are carried by the cranial nerves, glossopharyngeal and vagus, ninth and 10th cranial nerves. And pathway from pelvic region carried by or conveyed by the sacral parasympathetic nerve. So these are the pathways, and these two you have learned the root, the exact origin, the course of the path and termination and their functions. Just now we have learned. Okay, lateral spinothalamic, which carries pain from the body, and trigeminothalamic, which carries pain from the face, and from the viscera and pelvic region they are carried by the cranial nerves and also by the parasympathetic division of the ANS. Okay, and now we'll see this all comes under this physiology of pain. Okay, some physiology related to pain physiology is also called as pain physiology. They have learned different types of pain, pathways for pain, and referred pain. So this is like you some of the visceral organ pain, the pain which happens to mostly for the visceral organs is referred to some peripheral organs. Okay, so like pain which is perceived at a site is felt adjacent to that or away from the site of origin, and that is explained by a dermatome theory. That means from those segments, those sections are developed from the same dermatome, or you can easily say the neuron, the nerve fibers uh, supply those organs. Okay, the nerve fibers which supply those organs from the same dorsal root, afferent nerves from the same dorsal root supplies to different organs, and all those organs or structures can be, the pain can be felt together. Okay, or referred. So here you can see heart and left upper arms. Okay, medial side of the arm. So here the uh, the fibers supplies to this heart region and the cardiac muscle. Okay, those cardiac muscle, and then upper arm comes from the same dorsal root of the spinal cord. Okay, same dorsal root of the spinal cord. And here different examples for the referred pains have given. like kidney pain or renal stone, that pain, colic pains are referred to the back, okay, loin region, you can see. And then liver and or liver and gallbladder also, like in the back, and umbilical region. So it is kind of ruffled. So the pain that is perceived at a site adjacent to away or away from the site of origin of the pain is a different place, but you feel the pain at a at another site adjacent to that origin or away from that origin. Okay. And we have so you might have heard about analgesic systems. We give synthetic analgesic drugs or substances, and apart from that we have central analgesic system in our body. Okay, from the cerebral cortex there is a descending analgesic pathway which decreases or which subsides the pain sensation, which blocks the synaptic transmission of the pain sensation in the spinal cord level and tries to suppress the pain sensation. We can see here the fibers of analgesic, they arise from the frontal lobe, okay, near the hypothalamus. And here you can see the ventricular nuclei or periaqueductal gray matter. Okay, so they travel via that region and then descends down towards to the what do you call posterior gray horn, where your lateral spinothalamic tract originates. Okay, posterior gray horn where the lateral spinothalamic tract originates. So these neurons or these nerves or the descending pathway nerves are encephalin neurons. That means they secrete serotonin and opiate receptor substances which can bind on the opiate receptors, okay, in natural opiate receptors. So like enkephalin, dynorphin and endorphin, all these are opiate substances, okay, which decreases the pain sensation. And also serotonin, which keeps a good mood for you. Serotonin, enkephalin, dynorphin and endorphin, so these they bind on the opiate receptors, and thus they suppress the impulse transmission by the lateral spinothalamic tract. Okay, so that way they try to suppress the pain sensation. So this tract is called as central analgesic pathway or descending analgesic pathway. Okay, it is a descending pathway. Okay, but it is not a motor pathway, it is not doing any motor function, it is an analgesic pathway. And another one, gate control theory. This is again the example is like we give, when we have a pain sensation, we give another type of somatic sensation which overcomes or which dominates over the pain sensation. That means when you have a prick on your fingertip, you just try to press over that region or massage over that region. In that, you are not feeling the pain more intensely. Okay, the more intensive pain is not felt by yourself. That is like you are modulating the pain, you are giving another type of somatic sense impulse for somatic sensation, which closes the gate in the spinal cord. We refer as gates, not like what you have a gate in the at home or any apartment. Okay, we refer it as a gate mechanism. That means suppression of the pain pathway. Okay, so pain stimuli transmitted by afferent nerve fibers are blocked by the gate mechanism located in the posterior horn of the spinal cord. I'll give explanation. See here, this is the pain stimulus. Okay, pre-nerve ending pain stimulus. A delta fibers and C fibers carry the pain sensation. And here you have posterior gray horn and the nuclei also. And here at the same time you are stimulating a deep pressure or Pacinian corpuscle. So this pathway, this touch pathway also enters into the posterior gray horn, and they have, see, dorsal column, medial lemniscus pathway, the first we have discussed in the somatosensory pathway. They have inhibitory interneurons. These inhibitory interneurons make synapse with the pain pathway or the nucleus of the second order neuron of the pain pathway or the second order neuron of the pain pathway, and causes release of the enkephalin or opioid like substances, opioid receptor substances, and blocks or reduces, they have inhibited, these are inhibitory interneurons. When they make synapse, they first order neurons are inhibited. Okay, these first order neuron release of the glutamate and substance P is inhibited. Okay, so further carriage of the pain sensation is reduced. It is just reducing the pain sensation, and you feel uh, the touch sensation or pressure sensation dominated over the pain sensation. So you are giving another unpleasant feeling to overcome the pain sensation. It is just like that. You're giving another unpleasant, the deep pressure and deep touch is an unpleasant feeling. So that you are giving to overcome the pain sensation. Okay. So that is called as gate control. Here, this process we call as closing of the gate by inhibiting the release of substance P and glutamate by the first order neurons. Okay. That is called as closing of the gate, and this at the spinal cord level. Okay. So this is called as gate control theory to suppress the pain sensation. And we have another somatosensory tracts. You can see n numbers here: dorsal spinocerebellar, ventral spinocerebellar, spinovestibular, spinoolivary, spinoreticular, fasciculus dorsolaterales, and spinotectal. And all these are for your and this regulation or control of what you call equilibrium. Okay, equilibrium and balance, proprioception, what you call proprioception, to know the body position and to balance the body. And this one, spinotectal, is you have seen this tectum in midbrain, where you have superior colliculus to uh, for the visual reflex, to maintain the body according to the visual reflex. Okay, so this you can, this is not like spinothalamic tracts which carries the sensations, because these are like uh, subconscious. Okay, subconscious sensations. These are not like conscious sensations. So your equilibrium, when you sit, when you wake up, when you stand up, when you run, your body is maintaining your equilibrium, but you are not conscious. You are not purposefully maintaining, or step by step you are not maintaining the equilibrium. So these are called as subconscious. Okay, subconscious sensation. They are under somatic sensation, but subconscious. Okay. So here, dorsal spinocerebellar tracts. These are constituted by uncrossed fibers. You can see here, this is the one which enters into the posterior gray horn, and then see this one ascends up, makes synapse with the second order neuron and ascends through another segments of the spinal cords and reaches the cerebellum, anterior lobe of the cerebellum. So this is called spinocerebellar and formed by uncrossed. This is the fibers are not crossing. This one, this tract, okay, fibers are not crossing, and the origin is in the dorsal nucleus of Clark. It is in the posterior gray matter of the spinal cord. Okay, and the function is it carries impulses of subconscious kinesthetic sensation, which is known as non-sensory impulses. You are not sensing it. Okay. And another is ventrospinocerebellar. This constitutes crossed and uncrossed fibers. Both are there, crossed and uncrossed fibers. And the origin is in the marginal nucleus in posterior gray horn. And end is anterior lobe of cerebellum. And this also carries subconscious kinesthetic sensation called non-sensory impulses. Okay, all these are for, see, all the termination is in the cerebellum. Okay, termination is in the cerebellum. So cerebellum, the main function of the cerebellum is to maintain your equilibrium, dynamic equilibrium. And spinotectal, okay, this tectum, it's spinotectal means to, it ends up in the tectum of the midbrain in the superior colliculus. So originate from the chief sensory nucleus of the posterior gray horn. It contains crossed fibers. See this one. Okay, the pink one. Okay, afferent information. The origin is in the chief sensory nucleus in this posterior gray horn, and they cross the opposite side and ends in the superior colliculus. Here ends in the superior colliculus, and the function is with spinovisual reflexes. According to a visual vision, you are turning your head or moving your eyes, etc. Visual reflexes. Okay, scanning movement, following a moving car, etc. So they reflex according to a visual impulse. Okay, so that is done by the spinotectal tract. Origin is in the marginal nucleus, chief sensory nucleus, and ending is in the superior colliculus in the midbrain. It is consist of crossed fibers. and spinoreticular. Spinoreticular here in this one, black one. So this is the origin is in the intermediolateral nucleus in the gray matter of the spinal cord, consists of crossed and uncrossed. Here we have shown the uncrossed one. It consists of crossed also. Okay. Okay. Some of the fibers they cross the midline, and some others they don't cross, and they terminate in the reticular formation in the brainstem. Anyway, reticular formation is extended in the brainstem from the medulla to the midbrain. So these fibers end up any of the nucleus in the brainstem, mostly in the medulla and pons rather than in the midbrain. They end up in medulla and pons. Okay. These also concerned with the consciousness and awareness, wakefulness of a person. Okay. And spino-olivary tract, the blue one. Okay. So this is situated in the anterolateral part of the white column in the spinal cord, and ends up in the olivary nucleus in the medulla. Okay. So then it ends in the cerebellum. So it is also concerned with the proprioception, means sensation from the joints or maintaining the equilibrium. And another one is fasciculus dorsolateralis, a tract of Leisure. And this is actually a component of lateral spinothalamic tract. Okay, this is not extending throughout the spinal cord. It joins with the lateral spinothalamic tract. Okay, so this contains uncrossed fibers because it enters into the spinal cord, and then after entering into the spinal cord, some of them they move upwards or downwards, but they make synapse with the cells in the pain pathway, or the nucleus of the pain pathway, origin of the pain pathway, or pain or temperature pathway, the substantia gelatinosa Rolando. And they make synapse with the same nuclei, and then they travel along with the lateral spinothalamic tract. Okay, so it is not extending along throughout the tract, throughout the spinal cord and reaches the cortex. So it enters to any of the spinal cord, and sometimes they go up to the next level of the spinal cord, sometimes they go down to the next level of the spinal cord. Whatever, they make synapse with the substantia nucleus, cells in the nucleus, substantia gelatinosa of Rolando, which is your origin of your lateral spinothalamic tract, which carries pain and temperature. And after joining there, the fibers, the second order neurons, joins with the joins with the same lateral spinothalamic tract, and they carry the pain and thermal sensations. The function is the same one, carry the pain and thermal sensation. And spinovestibular tract is situated in the lateral white column of the spinal cord, and this is like they arise from all segments of the spinal cord, from starting from the lower region that sacral segments, lumbar segments, thoracic segments, and cervical, all the segments it can enter into the spinal cord and terminate in the vestibular nucleus, lateral vestibular nucleus. And so it is terminating in the vestibular nucleus, it is concerned with the proprioception. So other than this posterior spinothalamic, anterior spinothalamic, lateral spinothalamic, and trigeminothalamic, all other sensory ascending pathways are concerned, whichever we have discussed is concerned with the equilibrium of the body, maintaining equilibrium, or which carries the proprioceptive impulses from the body. Okay, so these are about somatosensory pathways. So we have discussed in 2 classes we have discussed. Jayesh is there. I've changed the spelling. Okay, Jayesh pointed out one mistake in the spelling. Thank you, Jayesh. So we have discussed about posterior column medial lemniscus pathway. In that we have discussed about gracilis fasciculus and cuneate fasciculus, means from the lower part of the body, from upper part of the body, carries touch, vibration, pressure conscious proprioception senses. Then we have discussed anterior spinothalamic tract, which carries receptor sensations for fine touch, itch, and tickle. Then we have discussed lateral spinothalamic tract, which carry pain and temperature from the body. Then we discussed trigeminothalamic pathway, which carries all the somatic sensations from all the somatic sensation, pain, temperature, touch, proprioception, all those from face, nasal cavity, oral cavity, and teeth. And then we have discussed some pain physiology, like fast pain, slow pain, how they are carried, which are the neurotransmitters, and different pathways for pain sensation, like lateral spinothalamic, trigeminothalamic, pathway from viscera and pelvic region, carried by cranial and parasympathetic nerves respectively. And we have discussed about referred pain, which is explained by dermatomal rule or theory. And we have seen a central analgesic pathway, a descending pathway. Okay, don't consider as a motor pathway, it is descending, but it is an analgesic pathway which secretes natural opioid substances which bind on the opiate receptor and also serotonin. In that way, they try to suppress or alleviate the pain sensation. And we have seen the modulation, pain modulation, by giving another type of intense somatic sensation, like you're trying to overcome the intensity of the pain by applying pressure, and that is called as pain modulation or gate control theory. And yeah, same in that case also, interneurons which arises or which is a part of the dorsal column medial lemniscus pathway, that causes inhibition of the release of neurotransmitters by ANC fibers, glutamate and substance P. That way they alleviate the pain sensation. And we have seen another set of somatosensory tracts which carries non-sensory impulses or subconscious sensations, which regulate the body balance by integrating the sensations from proprioceptors by the joint receptors. And we have also seen a visual spino-visual reflex as well. Okay, so these are about the sensory pathways, and we'll discuss in the next class about motor pathway. And after the sensory and motor pathway, we'll discuss important questions in another class. And then after that, we'll go to the higher functions of the brain. Okay, like sleep, memory, equilibrium control. I think we'll finish equilibrium also, and after that we'll discuss important question, how to answer, so like how the questions can come for an examination, how you can answer. All those we'll discuss after motor pathway. So okay, we need one more class for motor pathway, and after that we'll discuss about how to answer those questions. Okay. Okay, so thank you all. We can end the meeting for today. Anyway, the time is also up. Thank you all. We'll meet tomorrow.
Thank you, ma'am. Bye, ma'am.
Okay, bye.
Vanakkam, ma'am.
Oh, thank you. Vanakkam means welcome. You have to say Nandri.
Thank you, ma'am.
Okay, okay, bye.